Okay, by the town clock, it's 8:30, so we can open the continued public hearing for 253 Meadowbrook. Alterations to the original approved documents. Let's see. Does anyone have any suggested changes to the documents?
Yes, other than minor punctuation, what have you, which I'll give to Betsy at the bottom of page 3.
Yeah.
It isn't mentioned that the pool was relocated or reoriented or something, so I've added that.
Bottom of page 3.
3, where you list all the changes or
Oh,
major changes.
the reorientation of the spa.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then on page 4, I've got, this is just clarification. Halfway down the page, Tablot stated he was concerned with noise generation issues. And Weston stated that if needed, they'd add necessary acoustical screening. The area behind the garage would be a trench that would hold the acoustical units.
It's actually condensers.
Yeah, so we're going to insert that in,
Yeah.
right, the condensers.
Acoustical units gets deleted.
Good.
Yeah.
So we'll hold the condensers. Okay, thank you.
And on page 5, I think there should be some asterisks, which we discussed for item VA, saying that there are no changes to the large freestanding garage structure. I've written this down so you won't write it down. Since the original certificate of action dated whatever the date was, these garage drawings are listed here since they were inadvertently omitted from the original COA.
Okay, so, okay, so,
There were no changes to the freestanding garage, correct?
Correct.
And then on page 6, for E and F, you just need to add dates to those 2 drawings. And again, I've noted all that on my copy. which I'll give you.
E and F were done by Lombardi Design, not Marcus Weston.
Well, we still have to get dates.
Right, and actually what I was
Oh, I
gonna
see what you're
do
saying, right away.
is attach those 2 to this decision, because they're an 8.5 by 11,
Okay,
which is why I said it as attached.
okay.
Would you like a copy of the, this is the draft decision.
I have those.
I've got a few comments, going back to page 3. Top of the page, when we talk about presentation of the proposed project, the very first line, shouldn't we say that the revised site plan, architectural landscape plans were presented?
Okay,
And then there are a few typographical errors. I don't know if that makes any difference. So I won't get into the typos, but in terms of in the 3rd paragraph, I'm wondering if we shouldn't go with the model for people's names that we decided on a few weeks ago, where you know, you give the person's first name and last name, and then from there on it's the person's
Right.
last name. And then the other thing is, when someone is, this is true for most of these, but when someone's affiliated with an office or has an expertise, that should be noted. I think they are in this one, but you know, going over to 441, I noticed there were a couple of cases where they weren't. But anyway,
so we want some consistency.
yeah, it just that following that protocol that we determined a few weeks ago, on the beginning of the 3rd paragraph, where it begins on September 3rd. where I open the public hearing for site plan approval amendments, I don't think it, I think at 253 Meadowbrook Road is redundant, that's what the decision's about. And then on the last paragraph, rather than putting all the changes in a great big paragraph, would it be easier to break them out and number them? So
Okay.
the following amendments were proposed, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
As a list.
as a list.
Yeah, I thought that too.
Then we could, it would be easy to keep track of them.
Okay.
That's how we presented them,
Pardon?
which is how we presented them.
Yeah. On page 4, the third paragraph down, beginning with architect Weston stated, the second sentence, he also stated that if an abutter did not show up, their comments could not be given attention. Did not
That was
show up.
in,
What does
that was in
mean?
response to Dudley, my comments about Dudley Domain above.
Right.
Okay,
And what had happened was Dudley Domain, who is a party of interest, contacted me.
yeah,
And he had been, he lives in
Kentucky.
Kentucky, and he had been up about 6 months earlier, and he
Uh-huh.
voiced his concerns, which he then called me, and I conveyed that in public meeting.
okay.
But I
That's
see
clear
your
now,
point. Yeah.
but if you're reading this, if you're sitting in somebody's seat 5 years from now,
Okay, I can clarify.
Or actually, it just sounds like superfluous. I mean,
Okay,
to me, it's just.
I can delete it.
Yeah, I think just
I would.
that he stated that the internal lighting had never been an issue with other sites he designed, period, end of story. I mean, it
Yeah.
gets to be sort of like this catty little thing.
Okay.
you know.
Right. I
All right, I'll
agree with
delete
that.
it.
Then down in the next paragraph, it's just actually a rhetorical thing, where Marcus said that he would raise the sill. It wasn't conditional, it wasn't maybe, it was, he would do it. Talked about the condensers.
Okay.
So they would say.
So they would
they
pull up
would
the
pull
sill.
up.
Yes, will raise, would raise.
Would raise. So, okay.
What, I'm still trying to understand, on page 5, what discussion you thought might occur tonight, Betsy?
In all the decisions that I've written so far, I've always kept an open,
Okay,
I kept it open in the event that an issue has come up that
Okay.
hadn't been up before.
okay,
So,
Okay.
yep,
So you will most likely be deleting the in parentheses.
mhm.
but then going down to the sentence below that, I'm trying to understand the sentence. The board voted to close the hearing and review final plans.
Or just review the draft decision, because you're not really reviewing any more plans.
Well, we're closing the hearing before we review the decision? I'm not
Or
sure.
the other way around.
I'm not sure I
Yeah,
understand the
it's the other
sentence.
The board reviewed the draft decision and voted to close the public hearing.
That's fine,
Yeah.
then that would be the discussion. And when this is just a matter of protocol, but in these decisions, when do we note who makes a motion and who seconds?
It's generally in the minutes.
But, okay, it's in the minutes.
It's in the minutes, and I can certainly What I've done here, when I say the board continued the hearing, I'm not gonna bother to put who made the first, who made the second, because that shows up in the minutes, or should show up in the minutes.
Yeah,
So,
okay. I'm just, okay. It's just a question of procedure, that's all.
okay.
Somewhere it's got, doesn't it have to be recorded? Or does it? Does-
It's
recorded in the minutes.
It should be in the minutes,
Yeah.
who made the motion, who
Okay.
provided the second, and who
Okay.
voted.
All right. So that will appear in the minutes. Then, on page 6, the bottom of the page, under conditions, condition 1, actually, the first sentence in the condition 1 is not really a condition. Based on the input from the board, blah, 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 but voted to approve the amendments, right?
Right,
Because we've already done that.
right.
But my question is, did we ever get a revised tower drawing showing the raised sill? Did we get that?
Yes.
Okay. And we're going to need, I think at some point, evidence that the noise generating equipment, the condensers and what have you, are, meet the DBA
Mhm.
standards.
Okay, we can.
Is that in
add
the, is that anywhere in our first decision, or
Um.
we should check that?
Okay.
I think it may have been in the first decision, I don't remember.
40 dBs at the property
40
line.
dBs the property line, and you guys have to show that that's the
Correct.
case.
Mhm.
Okay, good.
Yeah, prior to the issuance of the building permit for the installation of the generator and the air conditioning condenser compressors. Shall
Good.
submit details of proposed units for review by the planning board. Noise emanating from the generator and AC units shall not exceed 30 dBA measured at the property line.
Okay, good.
And if necessary, sound mitigation enclosures will be installed in order to reduce the noise level.
Good. That's it for me. Roy, did you have any? Ken, you said you had some comments? No? No?
You guys already picked up what we did.
All right.
Well, yeah, you picked up, yeah, Betsy's already been given this from John, I think.
Mhm.
A couple of
Oh,
them.
yeah.
But-
Yeah.
John, did you all have any comments? No? All set? Good. Yep.
Okay, can I move that we approve the certificate of action for amendments to the site plan approval of 253 Meadowbrook Road?
I'll second that. All in favor?
I,
That's
with
it.
the modification.
With modification. With the corrections.
You'll have an amended, the final decision probably at the end of the day tomorrow, Friday morning at the latest. Okay. Thank you.
I tried to write that down.
Okay.
Did you pick up stuff on this place across from these? That's what I did.
No.
I'll vote. If you want to hand me that, I can,
It's just,
yeah, I'll take it.
all right, so it's 8:45. And 30 minutes until the next hearing.
I didn't hear.
You don't have to actually run your cameras. We're going to take a little time. We have a little time before the next hearing starts. We have about a half an hour, so
So adjourn.
we'll adjourn temporarily and reopen in a half an hour.
Yeah, that way
You don't have